Beautiful people, happy 2025 from Australia. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day to be alive. And I've woken up fresh. I woke up at 8 a.m. I was in bed by 11 p.m. I didn't even make the New Year's Eve fireworks because I'm a grandpa. But for me, nothing quite beats waking up, feeling fresh, feeling clear, feeling calm. That's something that being sober and not having any alcohol for 3+ years has allowed me to feel more stable and calm and grounded. And it's not even something that I miss anymore. I had a mate the other night ask me, do you want to go out for a beer? And I'm like, man, I'm not drinking anymore. And he said, oh, are you still trying to not drink? And I had to correct him and I said, I'm not trying not to drink. I just don't have an urge to have another beer or any kind of alcohol. And again, I don't say this to brag or to make out like I've got my life all figured out, because I've got problems, I've got challenges. Don't worry about that. I've got my fair share of those. But letting go of alcohol for me has been a huge shift. It's been very transformational. It's been beautiful to help me with my values of health, wealth, purpose, freedom. It helped me travel the world and make it for longer because I didn't have to worry about spending money on alcohol or being hungover, being cloudy, being foggy. So coming into 2025, I feel alive, the sun is out. I love the fact that here in Australia during Christmas and New Year's, it's the middle of summer. You can't argue with that. I love the heat, especially here in Australia. The sun hits different. It is incredibly potent. But the purpose of today's video is to simply remind you that you don't have to have it all figured out during the new year. I'm going to share a little bit about what I am and am not focusing on in 2025. Because in the self-improvement space, I think we can get so caught up with goals and vision boards and affirmations and shadow work and journaling to the point where it becomes this very external, outside-in approach. And if you become too heavily involved with that, it can lead to inaction, and it can lead to you feeling as though you're doing good things for yourself, but maybe year after year, month after month, you're still stuck in the exact same place. And so that's why I've learned getting into the arena of life is the real stomping ground for true transformation. For me, that looked like booking a one-way flight to the US, living in the US for a few months, living in the Costa Rican jungle for 6 months, and then living abroad in Europe for over 12 months between Portugal and Spain and London. This for me was beautiful. Like, this for me challenged me and stretched me in so many new ways. And it was not your typical style of travel where you fly in, you've got hotels, you're sitting by the pool sipping cocktails. No, this was spontaneous travel. This was booking a one-way flight. This was figuring it out as I go. And this was also a lot of volunteering. I used Workaway. If you're an aspiring traveler, if you want to get out there and you want to get a real cultural experience, Workaway is something that you can't go past, in my opinion. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but this is just my experience. I had really positive experiences with Workaway in Costa Rica, in Spain, and in Portugal. So if that's something that speaks to you, utilizing your skills, learning new skills, getting a real cultural experience, definitely check out Workaway. It's an incredible way to travel on a budget if you don't want to spend so much on accommodation and those kind of things. Anyway, fast forward to today, 2025, 1st of January here in Australia, and I'm on my own. My family's away on vacation. I chose to work through this period. It's probably the last year that I'll work through this period because it can be a bit lonely and isolating, but the solitude is necessary as well at times, I believe. Especially after Christmas, family and people around all the time, to have this space to just be on my own has actually been pretty beautiful. It's been a blessing. So here's what I'm not going to be doing in 2025. I'm not going to be going about each day aimlessly with no real plan, no structure. I've learned that there is a beautiful dance and balance between structure and flow. between having goals and a vision for my life, something that I'm moving towards, something that is pulling me forward, whilst also creating space for different opportunities to arise that may align with the path that I envision for myself, because you can become too rigid and too structured, and you can become too go with the flow. So what I've learned is to get clear on what I value, what my vision is, what my mission is, what my purpose is, to live in alignment with that each and every day, in every single way, but to also create space both within my mind and my body and within my external world for new insights and opportunities to arise, and to then use my discernment as to whether that's a good opportunity worth investing my energy into or not, or whether to stay on the path that I'm on. So I'm not going to be overly rigid or overly go with the flow in 2025. I'm not going to over-explain myself in 2025, because in the past I have been one to keep the peace and people please and over-explain certain things. And again, there's a fine line between over-explaining and providing information and speaking from an honest and true place. There's a balance here, because when I was, I suppose, breaking free from being a bit of a people pleaser, I went so far the other way to the point where I would not tell anyone anything, and I would shut down and I would withdraw and I would hold everything in. So what I've learned is there's a nice balance here, and there's a level of self-empowerment that comes with being able to make your own decisions, live a life by your design that feels true for you, that excites you, and to do that in a way that is unapologetic, that doesn't seek validation or permission or acceptance from other people, but to rather do it because it feels true for you. And so for me, this has come through creating my content. This has come through just sharing these messages. This has come through booking that one-way flight to the US and allowing the journey to unfold, and leaving behind my comfortable, safe 9-to-5 and my safe home environment with my family. And that transformed me in so many incredible ways. So again, the second thing that I'm not doing in 2025 is over-explaining myself, over-extending myself. Because, like I said, there's a line, there's a boundary there. And only you know what that is for you. I can't tell you what that is, but you will know that you're not living true to you if you constantly feel resentful towards others, if you constantly feel anxious or withdrawn or shut down from other people and around other people. It's probably highly likely that you're not living true to you and your values, and maybe you're not even clear on what your values or your vision or your mission or your purpose is. So if that's the case, I invite you to start reflecting on what those could be for you. This could be the perfect place for you to begin in 2025 if that resonates with you. Now, the next thing that I'm not going to be doing in 2025, and I'm just making these up on the flow, I am not going to operate through the lens of pressure, force, lack, limitation, scarcity, and doubt. Because growing up for a lot of my life, these energies kind of ruled my life and became my personality and my personal reality. I am the eldest of 3 boys. My mum, I love her to death. She's beautiful. She was the over-nurturer. Everything has to be perfect. And her level of anxiety and fear and perfection definitely rubbed off on me. And I'm not blaming her for any of that. She's beautiful. I love her. She is who she is. So what I've had to do is I've had to separate myself from that and create a new way of being that feels true for me. So early on in my business, when I started coaching clients, I remember always having to stick to the rigid schedule of posting twice a day, because I thought if I didn't post twice a day, people aren't going to hear my message, people aren't going to want to sign up as a client. And it was through this lens of lack, limitation, and scarcity. Moving forward, it got to a point where I had a lot of potential leads coming in. A lot of people wanted to get on calls with me, and I would get on calls with anyone, right? There was no level of qualifying them before getting on a call with them. So I noticed myself spending a lot of time on calls with people who simply weren't truly there and ready and willing to invest in themselves. And that was draining for me because I was doing it all for free. And not that everything in life has to be some form of monetary exchange, but there comes a point, especially if you're a coach or a business owner, if you're operating through the lens of pressure, force, lack, limitation, and scarcity, it's very likely that your business results are going to reflect that. It's very likely that your life is going to reflect that. So that's why for me, 2025, I'm not going to choose to live through the lens of scarcity, lack, limitation, and pressure, because that only disempowers me, that only creates this repelling kind of energy from what it is that I truly want to attract in. So that's why, in my opinion, it's very valuable to get clear on who you are, what you want, and in my opinion, your self-worth can determine your net worth. That may sound a little bit shallow, but I truly do believe that a lot of people out there in the wealth space talk about making 10K a month, this speedy way to make 10K a month. A lot of people talk about the latest strategies, but not many people speak about the inner state that must be cultivated to become an energetic match for more wealth, health, and purpose. I believe that if you don't see your own intrinsic value, and if you're not able to communicate and express and share that intrinsic inherent value that already lives within you, then it's going to be very hard for you to open up yourself to attracting and allowing in what it is that you really want. And if for you that's more financial abundance, then if you don't see that intrinsic value, or if you don't even access or tap into that intrinsic value through developing new skills, through spending time alone, through getting clear on who you are and what you want, then it's going to be really difficult for other people around you in this external world to see the value in you if you don't see the value within yourself. And that's why I believe that your self-worth ultimately will determine your net worth. And that may sound, like I said, shallow, because I'm no freaking millionaire. So let me be real. I have no authority to tell you how to make money. I'm not even telling you how to make money. But I believe there is so much more power within actually developing self-worth and intrinsic value than trying to find the quickest path to 10K a month. Trying to find the quickest strategy to make money online. What if instead you focused on your own intrinsic value and how you can express and share that with others and with the world, or what kind of value you can add to other people's lives and businesses? That, in my opinion, is a far more empowering approach than trying to figure out the quickest strategy to 10K months. So if that resonates with you, let me know your thoughts down below. Also, let me know what you are not carrying into 2025 and what you are carrying into 2025. Alright, now that's enough out of me for today. I'm going to go and get a workout done. I'm going to record a podcast, and then I'm catching up with a mate to go for a walk around the lake. I hope you have an amazing New Year's Day. I hope you've had an amazing holiday season, and I wish you nothing but the best in 2025. I truly mean that. Sending you love from my heart to yours, and I wish you and your family health, wealth, purpose, and happiness in this new year. Until the next video, let's go fam, venture beyond limitation.